Good morning, children. Welcome to 8th Standard. It's very nice that I'm able to talk to you through this video. You see, I have to teach you English this year, and because the books are not available, it is difficult for you to learn with the help of books because they are not there. So we thought we should teach you something while you're sitting at home. So I would like to do some writing skills with you. So letter writing is in your syllabus this year. I'm going to do that with you today. You see, there are two ways of writing letters, and there are two, or you can say there are two forms of writing letters. One is formal, the other one is informal. And what is informal letter writing? Informal letter writing is when we write a letter to our mummy, papa, brother, sister, some relative, friend, and even neighbors. Now you will say, why should we write a letter to mummy or papa? We can talk to them directly. And if we are outside, we can use a mobile phone. But you see, mobile phones are not available everywhere, right? Sometimes you go to a place where there is no connectivity. So it is better if you know how to write a letter to your parents. You are in a hostel, you want to inform them about something, you have a problem, or maybe you are happy and you want to inform. So you write a letter. Right? Similarly, why should you write a letter to your neighbor? That also comes under informal letter writing. You see, sometimes you are disturbed by your neighbors. They make too much of noise, or the children shout too much, or they throw things inside your house, or their dogs are barking too much, or maybe you have old grandparents at home which are disturbed by them. So you want to write to them very politely that they should take care of such things and not disturb you. So this is informal letter writing. Now they have different ways of writing also. That means their formats are different. So we have to today know about the formal and informal way of writing letter. Okay, first of all, you see, letter writing, what is letter writing? It is a way of communicating. You are giving a message, or you are asking for something, or maybe you are ordering something. You see, that's a letter, and it should be written in a proper manner. Yes, students, one thing you have to keep in mind now that you're in 8th standard, you're growing up, that whenever we write any piece of writing, it can be a notice, it can be a message, it can be an article, or a letter, or a story. Before we sit down to write, we must jot down some important points. That's extremely important. You see, it helps you to write. It becomes very easy. If you have written 4-5 points, you can elaborate and you can write a perfect piece of writing. Okay? And you have to be particular about their formats. Diary writing is there, article writing. They have a proper way of writing. They have proper formats. So today I am going to tell you about, first of all, informal letter writing. Informal letter writing, I told you, is a letter which we write to our parents or sister, brother, friend, somebody. It can be email also. You say these days you are writing emails also. So it's little different. The format is little different. I'll talk about that also later on. So informal letter writing, first of all, we write down our name and address. Everything you'll be seeing on the screen also. Okay? Your name, that means sender's name and address. Okay? Who is the sender? You are the sender. So you are going to write your address and your name. There's one more thing which is very, very important. Your teachers must have told you in 7th class also, that everything has to be on the left hand side in one straight line. Okay? The address or whatever you write down, it has to be on the left hand side in one straight line. So you write down, what do you do? How do you write your address? Okay, first of all, you write your name, and then you write down the house number, the lane number if you have, and the area, and then the city. Okay, and the pin code. That's your address. It must be written in one straight line. Then you leave one line. Okay, you must do that. And then you write down the date. Now there is a proper way of writing a date. You can see it on your screen also. Okay, let's assume that today is 3rd of April. So how do we write? 3rd RD 3rd April, 2020. We do not write 3.4.20 or we do not write 3/4/20. That's incorrect. So there is the proper way of writing. Please remember it, because this is what you're going to follow throughout your 8th standard, 9th class, 10th class, 11th class, 12th, whatever time. Okay, this is the proper way of writing. This is the way you should write down. Then you leave one line again and then you write down dear mummy, papa, whatever. Okay. Okay. So then you write down next line. After writing dear mummy, papa, you write down how are you. But please only write how are you. Don't write how are you, you are fine, mummy fine, papa is fine, sister is fine, all those things. You don't have to dwell upon that. Just be short and concise. Just how are you, and then start writing. That's called body of the letter. Then you inform that whatever you want to inform, that you're in a hostel. Suppose you're writing about that. I'm in a hostel. I'm very happy. I have friends. Whatever. The information you give, that's body of the letter. All right. And then how do you end it? You end it in a very pleasant manner and write down again left hand side. Okay. You will write down yours lovingly or yours affectionately, right? And then your name. That's it. That's easy. That won't be difficult. Okay, so that is informal letter writing. Now, what is formal letter writing? Formal letter writing is when you write a letter to somebody like maybe an editor or a police officer or maybe MCD, an official letter. An official letter is called a formal letter. You see, when you write an application to the principal, that's also formal letter writing. It is similar to the informal letter writing, but there's a little difference. So please pay attention. Everything will be there on your screen also. So first of all, you write down your address. Sender's address is same as the informal letter. Sender's address on top. Children, you have to copy it down. Whatever I'm telling you, whatever you see on the screen, you have to copy it down in your notebooks. We will be talking about it again when we meet in the school, right? So first you write down the address of the sender's address. That's your address. You see, sometimes the address is given in the letter also. So we can talk about it later. First of all, you have to understand this, that it is your address you have to write on top. Then you have to leave one line again, write date, the way I told you for the informal letter. Write down date, leave one line again, and now you have to write down the address of the person to whom you are sending the letter. Okay, that is called receiver's address. Okay, suppose it is you're writing a letter to the editor. So how will you do it? The editor, the Times of India. Suppose you're writing to the Times of India. You can write it to any national daily, and the New Delhi you can write down, and the that's it. Okay, you can also write down in between. You can write down the place also. That's all right. But you have to write these things. These are very important. And then leave one line again, write down sir, dear sir. You see, if you are not aware the person to whom you are writing this letter is a male or a female, you just write down dear sir. That's enough. You don't have to be confused, oh, what do I write down, madam or sir? You just write down dear sir. And then the formal letter has to be started in a very formal manner. It is not like an informal letter where you write down anything to your mummy, papa, friend or anything. So you have to write down the subject. Now what is a subject? Subject is the main theme of the poem, what the person wants you to write about. Suppose it is a complaint, you will write that. Suppose you're informing something, you're talking about say some visit or something, so that will be the subject and you underline it, because that is the most important part of the letter. So similarly, when you start writing the letter, you have to be very concise. You just do not go on writing anything. There are proper ways of starting a formal letter. You will know. I will write them down on the screen. You can see. And then you have to make your letters very interesting, whether they are formal or informal. You see, if you don't write very interesting letters, nobody would like to read. Everybody will just read first 2 lines and leave it. You should write a letter in such a manner that a person is compelled to read till the last line. So make it interesting. How do you make it interesting? I told you, if you remember, write down some points, the important points of the message you want to give. All right. So there are some things which you have to write down in a formal letter. First is introduction, then the message, and then the conclusion. They can be in 3 separate paragraphs also. But if the letter is too small, you don't have to make different paragraphs. They can be just small, just 2 lines you can write down in 1 para also. But these are the 3 things you have to mention in the body of the letter. That is the introduction. Introduction means what you want to talk about. Okay? And message, what message you want to give, what changes you want to make, or maybe you want to order things. When you grow up, when you come to 10th standard, you will be writing about ordering things. Okay? So what message you want to give, and the conclusion. It again must end in a pleasant manner. Don't be rude ever. Okay? But be very straight, concise. Just don't write anything. Right? And in the end again, towards the left hand side, we write down, how do we end? We end in a very complimentary manner, and we write down, say, yours truly, or yours sincerely, or sincerely yours. And then we sign. In a formal letter, we sign, and then we write our name in full. Okay, that's a format of formal letter writing. I hope you have understood most of the information I have given you, and if you have some doubts, please write them down. I can clear them when we meet, right? Or you can send them. I'll see, and maybe I'll be able to answer. Okay, bye. See you again.